stress and our body. So you've heard of this, fight-flight response, right? Fight or flight. So our human beings have been around a long time, over 20,000 years, right? And so in that development, where we went from being reptiles, they say, or even cavemen to now, our brain and our bodies have evolved. But from the very beginning, we've been designed for survival, okay? So we have this response in our system, in our brain particularly, that is related to survival. And that is a fight or flight response. And so in as short as 5 seconds, when we perceive that there is a threat, our body goes through some very specific things in order to prepare for what's about to happen. Now think about it. Thousands of years ago, when you're a caveman or woman walking down the road, and all of a sudden you see or hear a saber-toothed tiger coming towards you, right? In 5 seconds, your body's got to prepare for whether you're going to fight or you're going to flee. There's no other option. It's always like, I got to survive. So you size up the situation and automatically your body does a few very specific things. The very first thing it does is it perspires, sweats. Why is that? Because yeah, there's this perception that, you know, your body knows that you're going to overheat if you're going to run, or you're going to, even if you're in anxiety, you're going to overheat. So the perspiration is a means to cool down the body, right? The second thing it does is you start breathing very rapidly and very shallowly. And so what that does is it prepares you for running, or prepares your heart for the battle that's about to happen. The third thing that it does is that your blood pressure goes up. And so blood pressure going up affects your ability for your blood to be pumped to certain areas, i.e. your extremities, because you're going to need it in your hands, or you're going to need it in your feet, right? And so that's where the blood's going to. And so as a result of that, it's going away from certain areas, like your digestive system, your heart, your other organs, your kidneys, your liver, your other areas. So it's going right to where your body needs it. Again, remember, this is in less than 5 seconds that it's doing this. It's amazing our bodies are. The other thing it does is it ramps up certain hormones. So adrenaline, glucagon, and cortisol. So why those? So adrenaline, you've heard that related to energy, right? It increases energy so we can flee very quickly or respond to a fight very quickly. Glucagon is about focus. We want to be able to focus on what's going on right in the moment. And then cortisol is a hormone that allows the body to be, it's a stress hormone. So what it does is it allows the body to be able to soften in certain areas where you might be receiving a punch, or be able to tighten in certain areas where you might need to evolve muscles to run, right? And so these are the stress hormones. And then what ramps down is you don't need to affect your growth, right? So the growth hormone goes down, you know, so teeth and nails and bones start to just get rigid for a little bit. And then your sex hormones, you're definitely not thinking about sex when you're fighting or fleeing, so that hormone goes down. And your immune system is suppressed. Your ability to be able to ward off colds or any kind of other disease that might come around, your body's mind's not thinking like that. So that shuts down. And this is in 5 seconds, all of this is happening. So it makes sense if there's a saber-toothed tiger coming down the road that you might want to do that. That was then. So let's fast forward to now, right? We don't have saber-toothed tigers anymore that I know of, but we do have real life stressors. And unfortunately, in this evolution, as perfect as our bodies are, our brain evolved with a little bit of a glitch to it. It's been determined that the reptilian brain, which is what we were first given, that has that fight or flight response built into it, then built around it an emotional, the limbic system, which is really about our emotions and our thoughts about that. And then the cortex, which is the frontal lobes, right, where we think and all these high levels of thought. There's a translation problem, meaning that the emotional barrier, our brain, the reptilian brain, can't tell the difference between an actual physical threat and an emotional threat. It perceives them and tells the body to do the exact same thing. So an emotion that you perceive as being threatening to you, let's say anger or fear or an unmet need and how you feel about that, is going to affect your body the same way if it was an actual saber-toothed tiger, right? And so what we're talking about is overall, it's about these boundaries that we have in life. And when somebody transgresses a boundary, that's when we say that's a threat.